So I guess the Orwellian nightmare continues. Here's the headline. Feds pay journalism group $5 million to create software to turn people into anti-misinformation bots. Maybe they should make a commercial. Are you too lazy to research or think for yourself? Talk to your doctor about becoming an anti-misinformation bot. Side effects may include living in a far-left dystopia. Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are actually going to be thrilled to have something like this. Because they know what they passionately believe, they just don't know why, and this will solve the problem for them. The federal government has awarded $5 million to a group of journalists called Hackers to develop software that will encourage regular Americans to confront their friends over harmful posts and correct misinformation by replying with text suggested by the software. Wow, what a dream come true. You don't need to know why you believe the things you do. Not when there's software that can give you some canned response. I mean, it'll be a breeze at defending the thing that you don't understand with facts that you don't understand. And what does it matter if you haven't even looked at, say, the study that gets suggested to you? Because if you can't trust hackers, who can you trust? Because obviously this is going to all be on the up and up, right? The group is also organizing Wikipedia censors to determine who is a credible source on vaccines and block anyone else from being cited on the online encyclopedia. The list is already taking shape on Wikipedia, with liberal outlets such as the New York Times, Washington Post, Guardian, and The Atlantic all marked reliable. Conservative sites such as the Daily Wire, Daily Mail, Epoch Times, and The Federalist are all classified as either unreliable or conspiracy. And this is why the word expert doesn't really mean anything anymore. Because outlets like the New York Times push this fiction that the experts, are all completely unanimous in everything. And of course, experts disagree all the time. Of course they do. Nobody has a monopoly on the truth. But for the purposes of the New York Times and the Washington Post, the experts do all agree. Well, the experts that hew to their narrative. All the other experts are unreliable or conspiracy theorists. Let's see, this group led by Hackers received $5 million from the National Science Foundation to develop the Analysis and Response Toolkit for Trust. A euphemism if I've ever heard one. So what's this all about? Analysis and Response Toolkit for Trust. The Analysis and Response Toolkit for Trust is focused on helping people engage in trust-building ways when discussing vaccine efficacy and other topics online. It says here, how do experts understand information? It can depend on what background or disciplines they are coming from. Here are 4 different lenses or interpretation frameworks that our team is exploring to include. Journalists, health, and science communicators, that's first on the list. And that's why having the New York Times, the Washington Post, the Guardian, the Atlantic all marked reliable, and anything that's one step to the right of them marked as unreliable or conspiracy, that's why it's so important. Because, in case you haven't picked up on this yet, they're not concerned with misinformation, they're concerned with information. Information that is not part of the narrative they have all agreed on. I mean, look, if they're so concerned with misinformation, why aren't they interested in all of the misinformation coming from New York Times, Washington Post, Guardian, Atlantic over the last 3 years? You know, misinformation about, masks or lockdowns. Or that the lab leak theory is like something out of a comic book, as CNN told us. Or how about this?
You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The cat's out of the bag on the fact checkers and the people who tell us they're worried about misinformation. How about this? Users are encouraged to paste their friends' Twitter and Facebook posts, and the tool will tell them how harmful they are. Then it suggests relevant responses through tailored response examples or templates that the user should copy and paste as a reply.
ART is the Analysis and Response Toolkit for Trust, and it's aimed at enabling local actors in online conversations to have positive impacts on our online discourse.
You know what? I think they should change their name. It's not catchy enough. How about Ministry of Trust? How about that? And just for good measure, they should have torture rooms in the basement. Anyway. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't trust you. I think this is just another tool to try and brainwash people. I mean, how can these people with a straight face talk about trust and, reliable sources of information? It's the, quote, reliable sources of information that broke the public trust. And instead of admitting it, they double down. Let's see, the group also indicates that the jab issue is just a pilot project for using the software on other topics. Wonder, politics maybe? Yeah, if like a friend or a family member posts something on social media about how, inflation is bad. Yeah, it'd be really handy to just be able to mindlessly post a headline like this from the New York Times. Inflation is popping from Sydney to San Francisco. It may be a good sign. That's right, inflation's good. You want to check that misinformation from your friends and family. Because whether or not their life is getting worse, they're not a reliable source. Not like the New York Times. Anyway, I guess the good news is you can just turn your brain off. You don't even need to think about it, bro. The software will tell you. Just ask the software. What could go wrong? Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. I thank you for sharing my content. I will see you next time.